attendees are unmuted.
Okay, everybody. So who is online with me? So we've got Amanda.
Kim, don't you have being the host, you should have a list at least.
Oh yeah, I have a list right here. So it looks like we have 4. We got Amanda, Giovanna, and Wendy. Okay, so let's get started, everyone. So I just wanted to introduce myself, and my name is Heidi. And I.
Is anyone else hearing that echo?
Yeah, I do too. Hold on.
If everyone mutes except for Heidi, the echo should disappear.
Yeah, everyone mute themselves, please. Okay, can everyone hear me fine?
Yes.
Okay, that's much better. Okay, so welcome everyone to the group. I apologize about the little video snafu that happened. I'm really new to this, so hopefully we'll get it all figured out next week, so it's going to run more smoothly. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I am 32 years old and I live in Kent, Washington. I'm a psychology major and I also struggle with emotional eating as well. So I put this together for you guys to kind of help you identify what triggers your emotional eating and basically all the factors that are surrounding emotional eating. So with that being said, I'm going to go around to each of you and have you introduce yourselves and just tell me what you hope to get from this group. So unmute yourself when I go to your names and just introduce yourself. So Amanda, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm from Tennessee originally. I live in Washington, up in Mill Creek. I basically hope to get from this group something that can help me with the emotional eating, the binge eating, and my self-esteem that goes along with it.
Great. It's so great to have you here, and thank you for being here. Okay. Can we go to Deidre?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm here.
Hi.
Trying
Nice
to
to
figure
meet
this
you.
thing out. Yeah, so I'm Deidre, and I live in North Carolina, and I joined the group because I have quite a few eating issues that I've been learning about lately, and I just want to try to learn some ways to how to cope with it all and try to find my triggers and try to just learn what's going on instead of just kind of winging it because that's not going so well.
Okay. Well, you come to the right place, Deidre. So nice to meet you, and I hope that you really learn a lot here. I really do. Okay, Miss Giovanna.
Hi everyone, I'm Giovanna. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm not sure if I'm pressing the right button.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, we can hear you. Okay. I'm Giovanna. I'm from...
Oh, can you unmute yourself, Giovanna?
Giovanna. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. For some reason I have to hold the push talk button. I guess what I want to get from this is just being able to control my...
Okay, you're going to have to unmute yourself again, honey. Let's see.
Your line is now unmuted.
For some reason, can't hear Giovanna.
Giovanna, can you unmute yourself?
I can't hear very well.
Giovanna? Okay, well, we'll come back to Giovanna in a minute. Wendy, can you please unmute yourself?
Your line is now unmuted. My name is Wendy. I'm just a couple short of 60. I have had problems with eating. I've been every eating disorder there is. At one point, I was 250 pounds. I did have gastric bypass, but that's not the cure-all. I still, it's women issues, it's mother issues that cause us, I think, to overeat, and emotionally eat. And I'm sure your studies, you're learning that also, Heidi. And but everything is always a positive to learn. So whenever there's anything of this sort, I always feel like there's no end to what I can learn from it.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. I'm really glad to have you here, Wendy. Okay, let's see if we can get Giovanna back on. Giovanna, can you unmute yourself, hon? Okay, well, I can't hear her, darn it. Okay, so, all right. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was the video that I posted today about the cycle of emotional eating and the trigger cycles. So I just wanted to see who got an opportunity to watch the video. If you didn't, that's okay. We're still going to discuss it next week because today is our first day. This is just kind of like an introductory meeting, getting to know you type of group. The thing that I got from it was recognizing the triggers. Mine are usually stress and boredom. Because I'm single, I work 2 jobs and go to school, so I definitely eat when I'm stressed out, and sugar is one of my downfalls. Like, I can seriously inhale like a bag of the orange slices candies and just like not even think about it. So that's probably like the biggest thing that holds me back from my goals. It's been a hard thing. So I'm really excited to help myself and help you guys as well. So I'm going to go to Amanda. Did you have a chance to watch the video?
I haven't actually had a chance to watch the video yet. I was hoping to do that tonight after the chat.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. So what that is basically it's about the trigger cycles that happens. It's the same thing that happens with addicts and alcoholics, is that you go through this trigger cycle, and then like you go through like the shame and the guilt after your emotional eating. So it's identifying those triggers and situations, and I think you guys will find it really, really helpful too, a lot. And another thing is, I'm not sure if y'all heard, but I'm picking 2 prize winners for some handmade jewelry, especially made by me, for turning in your weekly food journals. So I will be keeping track of that for you guys too. So by keeping your food journals, what this is going to help us with is identifying our behavior patterns when it comes to eating. So that's why I want everyone to be open and honest with themselves for this to truly work. So like even if you eat chips or a donut or whatever, just write it down and your feelings associated with it. So yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go to Deidre. Are you on the line, Deidre?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Hi.
Cut out with my name. I haven't watched the video yet either. I was hoping to tonight.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally great. That's totally great. So did you familiarize yourself with the group and the food journaling that I put up, as well as I uploaded a journal as well that I made that was specifically for emotional eating for you guys, so this could help you along the process. So I just want to make sure that you have that too.
The food journal, yes, I made my own copy in Google Docs, and I've already written in it for today.
Oh, cool. That's so awesome. So awesome. Okay, so let's try to see if we can get Giovanna on again. Giovanna, can you unmute yourself? Oh, she's gone again. Oh no.
Can you hear me?
Yay, finally. Woo.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now you're muted again. Oh. It's probably because you're calling from mobile. That could be the problem. I don't know. It might work better from a computer, I'm thinking, for next time. Okay. So you can, Giovanna, if you're having problems unmuting yourself, you can just type in the chat box. So I was going to ask if you had a chance to watch the Cycle of Emotional Eating video, and what were your takeaways from it? Okay. No, I'm not seeing her. Okay. Alright, so I think we're having issues on Giovanna's line, so sorry, hun. Okay, so let's go to Wendy.
Your line is unmuted.
Yes, I did watch it, and it was so right on. It's just amazing to me.
Oh, great.
It truly told the story.
Right. Right, that is awesome. So, what are the most important points that you got from it?
Well, to me, the important point was that once you start, it's just a hard cycle to break. And like I said before, in all of my research and work that I've done on eating disorders and problems with food, they seem to always somehow go back to our mothers, and I don't know why it is. It seems to be women have worse times with emotional eating, but I find myself when I'm bored,
right,
is when I struggle.
Right. I have the same problem too. Same exact problem. Okay. All right. So
I just keep myself out of the kitchen.
Yeah, sometimes that doesn't always work though. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about, so this is going to be something that's very interesting to you, that I have learned in psychology, is we are shaped by our childhood experiences. So this is basically like...
Line is now muted. Your line is muted.
Okay, can everyone mute their lines real quick, please? That way we don't have an echo. Okay. All right, so the next thing I was wanting to talk about today was your childhood experiences and how they affect us as adults. Okay, because, well, I'm a psychology major, and one thing I've learned is that Freud believed that our behavior as adults are really shaped by our childhood experiences. And me, myself, I had some pretty tough childhood experiences. I grew up with an aunt who told me I was always going to be fat. So I actually had this self-fulfilling prophecy and actually believed it. So then I was like, okay, well, if I'm told this is what I'm going to be, I'm just going to, be fat. And, that's how it was. And I actually used my eating as a defense mechanism against people. That way, people can't hurt you. That's what I learned. Food was a comfort at a young age. And my mom, she didn't set very good examples for me either. I never learned how to eat right. I never learned about exercise. And then I ended up in my early 20s being like 260 pounds. So I kind of had to learn the hard way about my health and, the steps that I need to take. So that is something I wanted to share with you guys. So I don't know if maybe we can share just a little bit of like our childhood, how we grew up. Did your family celebrate food a lot? Were you rewarded with it a lot? So this way we can kind of help identify these issues. So I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna go hand it off to Amanda. Okay, Miss Amanda, can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Hi. Okay, so
Hi.
So we were talking about childhood experiences and how they affect us. So I'm not sure if you caught all of what I said, but so I was just, telling a little bit about my childhood and how it was. So my childhood, my mom, she, didn't teach me how to eat right. I never learned about exercise. So it was like food was like a celebration of everything. So I just wanted to kind of, ask you guys like kind of how was it for you growing up as a kid, around food?
For me, it was a lot different. I was a thin kid all the way up through about high school. But then as a freshman, I moved out kind of into the county, into the country, and I didn't really exercise a lot. And then that's kind of when my mom was always really thin. She was about 5'5". She was probably about 130 or 40 pounds. And I was easily that much as a freshman. And then I started putting on some weight, and I would eat. She would just say really like mean things to me, like moment on the lips, lifetime on the hips.
Aww.
And so I kind of started, I guess, closet eating then, and, sneaking. Hopefully she wouldn't catch me overeating.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got to a point after high school, I had gotten comfortable being about 180 pounds. But then I decided to join the military. And so I had to take off a good 20 pounds. And that's kind of where my problems started. I joined the military almost borderline heavy for them. And every 6 months we have to weigh in. So it's then morphed into a cycle of poor habits followed up with good habits, and then making the weight that I need to make, and then going back again. But it's only going to take like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, to gain 15 or 20 pounds back that I spent 4 to 5 months working on.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in this big nasty cycle. And now for me, it's come to the point where I've decided I'm going to get out of the military. I don't want to hate my body anymore. I want to eat the right way. not binge,
Mhm.
closet eat, and I just want to like my body and feed it the right things and do the right things. So that's kind of my experience. It's not something that I aged 7 or 8. It was 14, 15.
Oh, okay. So yours kind of happened, seems like the teenage years, because that can be kind of a awkward stage in people's lives. Especially, you can get teased by your peers and stuff, and it can be really difficult. So yeah, I totally understand that. Well,
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I can't.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, hello. Oh, Amanda, can you unmute yourself?
Hear you.
Oh, she's not there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to Wendy. Can you unmute yourself? Okay, Amanda. Are you still there, Amanda? Okay, can you hear me, Miss Amanda? Let's see. Okay, so it looks like it's just me and Amanda online right now. Can you? Okay, there's Wendy.
Unmuted.
Oh, there you are, Wendy. It said you disappeared. Okay, so yes, we were talking about childhood experiences and how they how it affects our eating behaviors as adults. So can you maybe just share with me a little bit how it was for you growing up, and how your experiences affected you? Can you unmute yourself, Wendy? Okay, we got Deidre on. Okay, let's see here. Alright, looks like I lost Wendy. Okay, Deidre, are you there? Can you hear me, Deidre?
Your line is now muted. Your line is now unmuted.
Okay, Deidre.
I'm not sure. I think they're having all sorts of technical difficulties.
Okay, is
I
it?
just got back on.
Your line is now unmuted.
I can't hear anyone. I can't hear Heidi. I keep every once in a while hearing other people.
Okay, that's because we have two people who are unmuted, so one of you is going to have to mute yourself. So let's go to Wendy right now, and then I'm going to go to Deidre. So Deidre, can you mute yourself? And then Wendy, unmute yourself. Okay, looks like we lost Wendy. Okay, we'll go back to Wendy as soon as she can unmute herself. So, Deidre, can you hear me? Okay. Deidre? Over there.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard you there for a second.
What?
Okay, is this Deidre? Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Yes?
Okay.
This is Deidre.
Hi, this is Heidi. So I was going to ask you a question because we were talking about our childhood experiences and how they affected us as adults. So I was just kind of ask you what it was like for you as a kid growing up and with emotional eating, or when did you think like it actually started?
Right. Okay, well, I think my eat issues really took a head after I got pregnant
Mm-hmm.
and after I had my daughter, because prior I grew up eating pretty much nothing healthy. I didn't eat my fruits or vegetables, and I barely ate meat. I ate a ton of carbs, like pasta and breads and cheese, and that was my diet. And I was a thin. I had an extremely high metabolism. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, it's showing my mic cutting out, so I wasn't sure if it was cutting out for you guys. So yeah, I was really thin. I didn't pay any attention to food or what it was supposed to be for or anything it could do to help me. But after I had my daughter, I gained 60 pounds when I was pregnant, and my metabolism completely changed. Anytime I would like look at food, I'd gain weight, which of course I always heard growing up, but I never went through that. So I tried losing weight, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and then I just kind of started getting mad at myself, and I would get mad at food, and I would get mad at the situation, and I'd be frustrated that my metabolism changed. So yeah, that's where I think it started. I do know growing up I did deal with people thinking I was anorexic because I was so thin, and that wasn't true. I ate all the time, and I just never gained weight. But and people hated me, which was kind of hurtful because I wasn't doing it on this, and I wasn't trying to make people mad at me. So going from that end of the spectrum to then being overweight and then not being able to lose the weight easily was just it even is still now a hard thing to accept.
Right.
So.
Right. I think this is probably like the hardest thing to get over because honestly, like the thing that I think is hardest is like having other people judge you. Like people will be like, "Oh, don't you just have willpower? Just be stronger." But there's some people out there who don't really understand like how it is to be an emotional eater, and the triggers and everything and the struggles. And I think that's the biggest thing that holds us back because it's a sort of comfort, because it makes us feel good. So we actually have to learn how to cope with our emotions in healthy ways, because I think as we've evolved as a society, that we have become more emotional eaters, because way back in the day we used to eat just to survive. It was survival mechanisms, and now we're just so bombarded with advertisements that are enticing, that it makes us, just want it more. So, a lot of great points there. So, I'm really glad you're here. I'm so glad to be able to help you with this. So I'm just really hoping that I can help each and every one of you. Okay.
It keeps cutting out. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's go to Wendy.
Your line is now unmuted.
Yes, I never had a problem as a child growing up, really. They used to call me Twiggy. This is, back 60s and 70s. And I was very thin. And until I was a teenager and molested. And then food, I think, became my way of coping. Now, for those of you that you might want to there's a book out there called The Monster Within by Cynthia Rowland McClure. Excellent book. It's about eating disorders, but it talks about things that can trigger us to eat. And a really good book. I actually, when the book first came out, met the author, and it kind of tells you how things from your childhood can trigger eat. And like I said, I'm almost 60 years old, and I've done a lot of research and studying on all of this also, and which is a lot of the reason why I'm really involved, although I don't know if we ever get our emotional eating. And I just have to really watch it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. We always have to become more conscious and aware of eating. Because sometimes we just don't even think about. Okay, there's an echo. Okay, Deidre, can you mute yourself?
Let me turn mine off.
Okay. All right. Okay, so looks like we went through everybody except for Patricia. Can you unmute yourself, Patricia? Hi, Patricia. This is Heidi. Okay. Okay, Patricia, can you hear me? Or unmute yourself? Okay, we'll go back to her. Okay, alright, ladies. So, this was kind of like a get to know you, so we can, kind of get to know a little bit about each other. And our triggers. So I basically prepared for it this week by practicing this myself because, I do a lot of the mindless eating myself. So for me, it's really hard being honest with yourself a lot of times because you're like, why would I want to be honest with myself, sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to pretend the calories aren't there, I'm not going to track that because, I'm going to feel guilty, and it's like, I don't have no one, to watch me, I'm single, I can get away with it, basically that mode of thinking, but, it's the biggest thing that holds me back, really, in reaching my goals, and has been a tough thing. And I think the toughest part too is learning to love yourself. For me, just because I used to be 260 pounds. I lost a lot, but I still had to learn how to accept myself and love myself. And I hope that each one of you can practice this as well, too. So this week, what I want everyone to do is to keep your food journal every day, and as well as writing your emotions down, you know, about what time you engaged in the behavior. So this is going to help you to identify the triggers that are associated with that. And then next week, I believe we have a video about advertisements and how it affects you in your eating as well, too. Okay, so does anyone else have any questions that they would like to ask me? You can unmute yourself if you have a question. Nobody? Okay. Okay, let's see. Can everybody hear me? All right, ladies. Okay, so I think that's it that we're going to go through for tonight. So for the next week, let's make sure that we're writing in our journals every day. And then next week we're going to be getting into some more of the stuff that affects emotional eating and how to overcome it. And I'm really excited to help you guys. And I really appreciate each of you being here, each and every one of you. You guys are the reason that I'm here. And thank you so much for being here. So we will do this the same time next week. And I will see you guys next week. And you guys really have an awesome night. Thank you so much for being here.
Your line is now unmuted.
Heidi, I just want to thank you for doing this for everyone. This is really appreciative.
Oh, you are so welcome.
You're so welcome.
Okay.